You need to get your money out the bank. Shalom, it's No Limit Eddie, back with another video. You saw the thumbnail, you also saw the title. So today we're actually going to be reacting to a video, a really awesome video actually, from a content creator by the name of Jay Morrison. Okay, he has a podcast called How to Beat the Trap, and on this podcast he had a guest by the name of Grant Cardone, and they discussed some very high level topics within the video. And I'm excited to actually dive into it. I'm only going to touch on basically one main topic. And the one topic that I'm touching on in today's video is the fact that the people who control the world's money supply, who essentially control the world, are incentivized to keep you poor. And not only are they incentivized to keep you poor, they have the means to actually do that. By the way, I am a 22-year-old American who moved to Africa 1 year ago, and on my channel I share my thoughts and experiences with you with the hope of making your transition from America to Africa as smooth as possible. If that sounds intriguing to you, then consider subscribing to the channel. And no matter what, leave a like on today's video because it helps the channel grow a ton. We're on the road to 25K subscribers, so I really appreciate anybody who's willing and able to subscribe.
Yeah, again, a trap, a bank trap, right? And the banks in this country, and look, this goes across the board. It really doesn't matter what color you are. If you're black or brown and you finally made it into the middle class, you start conserving and you start protecting because we've been told to save our money and spend our time. Change. White people in this country control institutional assets, like those assets behind me. It's just a fact. And all you got to do is look. Why? Okay? Because communities continue to fund the Wells Fargo, the JP Morgans, the Goldman Sachs. You guys want to change the game up, but then you fund the very people that control the game that are unconscious that there's a trap imposed on the people.
Now, the podcast is called How to Beat the Trap, and Grant Cardone describes a bank, or describes the banking system as a trap. And so what is a trap, and are banks actually a trap? Let's figure that out first. All right, now Jay Morrison starts all of his videos off by saying, well, not his videos, but his podcast off by giving his definition of what a trap is. Now, his definition is a program or system created to entice or entangle someone for the benefit of another. Now, that's his definition of a trap. So, a system or program designed to entice or entangle someone for the benefit of another. So, let's think about that in the case of a bank. A bank is a system, right? It's a part of the banking system. All right, so that's check number one. It is meant to entice other people, right? So let's figure out, do banks entice people? Well, I would say yes, they do, right? Because they entice people by number one saying, hey, putting your money in a shoebox, putting your money under the mattress is not safe. You need to bring it here over to a bank, okay? Keeping your money in a bank is safe for you on the fact that, we are federally insured, so the government is backing your money. They also say, hey, your bank is always going to be here for us. You can trust us. We have millions and billions of dollars worth of assets. They kind of build a reputation on being secure, right? Being a good place to store your money safely. So when everybody thinks of a bank, that's what they think of, right? A place where they just put your money, and then when you want it, you can go ahead and get access to it. Now, another way to entice people is by incentives. So one incentive that's very common is, hey, if you get paid via direct deposit, set your direct deposit up with us, and we'll pay you 2 days sooner, right? We've all kind of seen that before. Even when it comes to tax time, a lot of companies fight for your direct deposit, for your tax refund, for multiple reasons. And we'll discuss the reason why banks are so thirsty for direct deposits in a later section of today's video. But essentially, that's an incentive as well. When you're working a 9-to-5 job and you're living paycheck to paycheck, the idea and the concept of getting paid 2 days early is very enticing, because sometimes you do run out of money before your next payday. And so that's very enticing as well. So of course, banks are enticing people. Another way banks entice you and I are with convenience. Cashapp, PayPal, Zelle, all these different payment methods and payment methodologies are very convenient. It's easy to split bills with people. It's easy to send money, receive money. It's kind of hard to do that with cash, right? Going to the post office and getting a money order in cash is not the most optimal strategy. So just being able to, boom, direct deposit somebody or directly send money or receive money from people is very easy. That's a convenience factor. And that is another methodology of enticing people, all right? Now, so the bank is a system. It does entice people. Now it says for it to be a trap, it has to be for the benefit of someone else. Now, Grant Cardone and Jay Morrison seem to suggest that Caucasian institutional investors are the benefactor of the banks. And so if that was the case, then that would mean that the bank is a trap. But let's think about who actually benefits when you deposit money into the bank account. Is it you? Is it me and you? Or is it the institutional investors? Okay. So how do banks work? That's what we have to first ask ourselves. And this is a very deep and detailed conversation, and or not a conversation, but a very deep and detailed topic in which there's no way I'll be able to dive fully into in today's video alone. And so actually the cool thing is I'm actually writing a book at this moment in time, and it's called Why Everything You Know About Money is Wrong. All right, that book is actually available for pre-order right now. By clicking the link in the description, you can go ahead and reserve your copy. So right now I'm in the process of planning out the book and I'm writing the book. But if you guys want to be able to get the book when it is fully released, you can reserve your copy now by ordering the pre-order. The pre-order actually is only $4 USD, and man, we're going to really drop some gems. It's going to be a very eye-opening and life-changing book for a vast majority of you guys who read it. And so I suggest you guys go ahead and get the pre-order now, because of course, as the release date comes closer, the price is going to increase from the $4. So if you have $4 to spend, I suggest you guys go ahead and order the pre-order. Link is in the description. Now, banks make money by loaning out other people's money, okay? Now, everybody knows that, but most people don't know about what's called the fractional reserve system, right? Or fractional reserve banking. And so basically what that means is every big bank, every major bank that has over $124 million in assets, which Chase, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all the banks that you and I go to, they have over $124 million in assets. Now, that means they only are required to keep 10% of the money that you deposit. Fractional reserve. They're required to reserve a fraction of the deposit in which you place inside of them. All right, awesome. With that understanding, banks also have the ability to create money with the fractional reserve system. And it's essentially a loophole, but this is what banks do, and this is how banks really get rich. And this is why I also, as like Jay Morrison and Grant Cardone, believe that banks are a trap, because they are for the benefit of another person. When you give a bank $1, they are actually able to create 9 additional dollars. Right? For every dollar you give the bank, they can create 9 additional dollars. Now, how does this work? Well, when you give the bank, let's say $100, they're required by the federal government to keep $10. But the other $90 they can loan out. And they're going to loan that money out so many times that by the time it's actually finished, it's going to be around a 10x multiple. So this is where it gets wicked, is because I gave them $100, okay, they loaned 90 out to somebody, okay. Now when they loan 90 out to somebody, they're going to loan it out to them via direct deposit or a check. Now when a person gets a direct deposit, that's considered another $90, a new $90, even though it's my initial 90, okay. So they only have $100, right, but they loaned out 90. Now they loan this 90 out to somebody else. When that $90 hits that person's account, they're going to reloan that $90. They're going to reloan 90% of that. I'm not sure what 90% of 90 is. 10% of 90 is 9, right? So 9 times 8, what's 9 times 8? That 72, I think. They're going to loan out, I think maybe it might be 72. They're going to loan out $72. Now this $72 is fake, right? Because I only gave them $100, okay? They took 90 and gave it to somebody else. Now when a 90 enters into, let's say, Bill's account, Bill has a real $90. That's my $90, okay? So Bill has a real $90. But now the loan that Bill got, the $90, is going to be reloaned again. Let's say $72. This $72 does not exist. There is no $72 in physical currency to back up that 72 that's going to be loaned out to, if it's Bill, let's just say Lil. Okay, when Lil gets that $72, it's fake money. It's not real. It does not exist. Okay, and so this is how banks go ahead and operate this is how banks operate. And so they take your money and loan it out basically another 9 times. So every dollar you give the bank creates them $9. Now, how much money do they give you, right? Most banks give you less than 1% interest rate. However, when they loan this money out, they're charging anywhere from 3 to 23% interest rate. And so if you give the bank $100, they're going to make $900 extra dollars, but you won't even get for $100 in interest rate over a course of a year. You won't even make $1, right? To make a dollar in a bank, you need at least $800, $800 to $900 in a bank to earn around $1 in interest. And so keep this in mind. You gave them $100, they turned that $100 into $900, and they're going to give you less than 1% of $100. So they're going to give you pennies. You're going to get 10 cents, 20 cents off of the $100, even though they created $900. And so, as you can see, banks are able to create money, and this is why I consider banks a trap, because it is a system. Okay, they do entice you. Hey, direct deposit, get paid 2 days earlier. Bring your money to the bank. Save money. Save money. We're going to talk about other things that they do to entice you to save money in a second. But anyway, and then therefore the benefit of another person. The banks benefit, of course, themselves, number one, but then they also benefit institutional investors who are able to use your money at a cheap rate in order to buy real assets, which provide them real cash flow and things of that nature. So yeah, banks are quite a scam, especially with the fractional reserve system.
Yeah, I mean, the way to say that, Jay, the simple way to say that is $1,000 in the bank earns $1.80 a year.
Right.
It would take you 8 years at Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citibank. I don't care, whatever bank you want to name. You want the local community bank, your credit union. It's going to take you 8 years to earn 1%. And you guys keep sending money, keep giving money. This is what people are doing. Okay. People are unconsciously spending the most valuable thing they have, time, to collect money. That's fine. Good. I work 80, 100 hours a week. I've worked more than that sometimes for years. And then I take the money. Most people then spend more time to rush it off to the bank and give it to the bank and say, hey, here, and you're feeding the entire system. And you complain about it, and then you feed the beast.
Now, one thing that you'll note is because of the fractional reserve system, most of the money that you see in your account is actually not real. It's just digital codes. And so what happens is when you look at a situation where you may actually need your money, like the situation happened in Ukraine. I was watching a Ghanaian woman who lived in Ukraine, and when she tried to escape, she literally was limited about the money she can pull out of her account in cash. She wanted to go ahead and get Ghanaian CDs, so that way she can go back to Ghana and she'll have some money on her, and she wants to trade her money out, but they refuse to allow her to do so. And as likewise, they put withdrawal limits on all the ATMs and in a lot of branches as well. So you may have 100,000 in your account, but they're going to tell you how much you can access in physical currency, right? Now here's the problem. If you know you're going to be moving from Ukraine to, let's just say, Romania, and you need to be able to fund your life and take care of your family in Romania, right? And you want to say, okay, I'm going to need some cash on me, because if anybody who's ever traveled will let you know right now that traveling without cash is a fool's dream. To travel without cash is absolutely foolish, and I would say it could potentially be impossible. You need to have physical hard cash on you when traveling. So let's say you're a family of four, you got 100,000 in your bank. You say, okay, man, there's something going on crazy in Ukraine. I need to get out of here. I need to go withdraw 25,000. And the bank tells you, no, you can withdraw. That money that you have is actually not real. They're not going to tell you that, but they're going to say, oh, sorry, there's a withdrawal limit of $2,000. And $2,000 may not do anything for yourself and for your family. They may not even pay for your bus ride out of the country. But they're going to tell you, even though it's your money, how you can and cannot access it. So this is one of the problems that happened in something called the fractional reserve system. It's something called bank runs. When everybody's pulling their money out at the same time. It's called a bank run, and a lot of times banks can get themselves in a position where they can default. And so to prevent that, they basically are able to install, withdrawal limits, right? They limit the amount of money that can be withdrawn. And so, yeah, right now in the Ukraine, they wanted to halt the ability for banks to kind of go bankrupt, because again, if they don't have, let's say there's $1 million inside a bank in physical cash, but because of that, they did it by a 10x multiple. So let's say in a bank account of human beings, there's around $10 million, but they only have $1 million in cash. If everybody who owned a bank account in that bank decided to pull all the money out in cash, there would be no way for that bank to give out $10 million because they only have $1 million in cash. And so they limit the amount of money you can pull out to kind of hold on to that $1 million and to not have absolutely zero cash. Because if they have zero cash, then they cannot loan out more money and things of that nature. So it can get very disruptive for the bank, and they won't allow that to happen. And so they put a withdrawal limit. And so you actually don't really own a lot of the cash that you think that you own that's inside of your bank. All right. So that's the problem with the fractional reserve system, and that's why I consider it a scam. But let's continue on. Again, again, we can go into much greater detail with these concepts within the book on why everything you know about money is wrong, or I might even change the title to why everything you know about money is a lie. I'm not sure, but go ahead and pre-order that book if you're interested in this topic. It is linked in the description of today's video. All right, amazing clip, amazing clip. I really enjoy watching Grant Cardone because I like the way he breaks things down. But he considers you know, the banks to be a beast of a system, and it truly is. And so let's go ahead and talk about that, right? Crazy that he said it's going to take you 8 years to earn 1% of your money. So if you have $1,000 in a bank account, you're only going to be earning $1.80 a year. That's absolutely despicable. Based off the fact that if you have $1,000, they're actually going to turn that $1,000 into $9,000 for themselves, and they're going to give you $1.80. If you don't consider that to be financial treachery, I don't know what is. And so let's talk about this really quick, all right? In the hood, when you see somebody with a large amount of money and they just randomly got that amount of money, the common thing is like, yo, did you rob a bank? You robbed a bank or whatever. Like, that's a common, you know, I guess phrase within the hood, right? Or you know, even the concept of I need money really bad. I'm thinking about robbing a bank. It's just a common ideology, right? It's a common mentality because we believe that banks have money. Now, if you are somebody who's watching this video and you plan on robbing a bank, good thing is that you watch this video, so now you know banks don't actually have physical cash on them. They have what I believe is monopoly money. Now, it is monopoly money because it's fake. It's not real. The same way I can't go to McDonald's and take 100 monopoly pounds and give it to the cashier. He's going to laugh at me and say, what is this? Or may even go to jail for trying to pass out counterfeit money. But the reason why you can actually use this monopoly money is because currently it is accepted as currency. But we can talk about fiat currencies and how eventually they all end up going to zero because they have no true backing behind them. But that is a topic for a whole nother day, right? But what I want to talk about in this scenario right here, let me look at my notes. So yeah, what I want to talk about in this scenario here is, either way, people believe that banks have money, and banks do have a lot of money, but it's just not real money. It's computer money. It's fake money. And the system will eventually bubble and pop, right? However, they are making a lot of money, right? Literally out of thin air. So we need to stop and think, okay, the best way to get what you want out of life is to look at who has it and then model them. So banks have a lot of money, monopoly money, but it still uses currency. And they have a lot of money because of what they do, right? Now, banks will tell you to save your money. In fact, not only will they tell you to save your money, they almost in some ways will force you to save your money. They can sometimes, if you have a saving account, penalize you for spending your own money, which is crazy, you know? And not only are they loaning out your money so many times and making so much money off of you, especially with the direct deposits, they also sometimes have the audacity to charge you a fee, an account maintenance fee. Can you guys comprehend what I'm saying to you guys? They're taking that $1,000 that you gave them, taking it and turning it into $9,000, giving you $1.80, or if you're lucky, I don't even have any, in my Bank of America account, I don't even have any interest that I earn, right? So sometimes even $0 what they're giving you, and sometimes they'll even charge you. They'll charge you to take your money and make money off of it and give you nothing. It's absolutely a sick game that they play.
Это был вызов,
And this is why you should take your money out of banks. And talking about, okay, telling somebody to take their money out of the bank and not giving them what to do with their money is kind of foolish, right? And so that's what we will be discussing within the book. You know, why everything you know about money is wrong. And I'll be discussing like how you can actually play the game that the banks play and win with it. But you need to look at what the banks are doing. The banks use other people's money to make them more money. Okay, so this is the strategy that the banks use, and this is the strategy that the wealthy people use as well, which is to leverage your capital. Understand that cash actually has no value. Cash is trash. That's what Grant Cardone says a lot. Cash is trash, and you have to understand that you need to use it and deploy it in order for you to actually continue to make money. Because what people don't understand is, while banks say they're saving your money, they're lying to you. They're manipulating you, and they are entrapping you, right? They tell you to save money. Now, here's the thing. Grant said it's going to take you 8 years to earn 1% of your money. So let's say you put $1,000 in a bank account today, all right? Put $1,000 in the bank. Awesome. 8 years from now, you would have earned 10%, as Grant Cardone says in this analogy. Let's just take it at face value. At 10% of $1,000, I mean 1% of $1,000 is what is it? $10. It's $10. So it's going to take you guys. It's going to take you. Going to take you guys 8 years to earn $10 in interest. Okay. Now, within those 8 years, your money is losing value or losing spending power because of something called inflation. The cost of living every year rises by about at least 3%. Now, this year was a historic year. People are believing that it's around 15% of your spending power was lost, and that's why things are significantly more expensive. So around 15% of your spending power was lost. But let's say we continue to go off of 3%. That $1,000 that you have in your bank account will lose about $240 worth of value over the next 8 years. So that $1,000 you have, even though the bank will always continue to say 1,000, the spending power of that will actually be around like $760 because of the cost of living increasing every year by at least 3%. So essentially, that bank has taken that your $1,000, turned it into $9,000. Paid you $10, but your spending power in your bank account is actually only now around $760, $770 US, and sometimes they may even be charging you a fee to do that to you, right? So saving money is a game for losers. And you have to realize that saving money is absolutely nonsense, but it is perpetrated by, guess what, institutions. This is what we're talking about, it's a trap. Not only do these people encourage saving, the other people who put this message out there, of course they're going to encourage you to save and encourage you to save because that makes them rich. The more times you deposit money into the account, the more money you keep in your account, the fact that you're not trying to withdraw your money because they don't actually have your money in physical cash, it enriches them, and it's a good thing for them. So why would they tell you how to actually make money and how to actually deploy your money successfully? So you can't trust what they say. You have to look at what they do, and what they're doing is taking money and making it into more money. I heard an analogy one time that your dollars are soldiers, all right? And so your soldiers should always be out there, basically claiming other territories, taking down other territories, and claiming, more dollars for you on your behalf. So you have to understand that that's what you should be doing with your money, is deploying it effectively. Now, of course, people like Grant Cardone and Jay Morrison, they're big into real estate, and so they encourage spending money. Or basically leveraging your credit and leveraging your cash and things like that to get into real estate. You know what I mean? Real estate is for some people, not for everybody, but there's definitely a lot of ways I believe that you can more easily allocate your money and probably see even a more substantial return and things of that nature. But again, that's what we can talk about inside of the book. We're going to definitely talk about banks. We're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about assets, what a real asset is within that book. Click the link in the description. Go ahead and pick up a copy of it, or at least a pre-order of it, so that when a real copy drops, you'll be able to have access to it. Now, on the end of this, I want to go ahead and leave a conclusion of today's video. Make sure you guys check out the podcast if that's something you're interested in. Like I said, I did my best to break things down. Hopefully I was able to explain it pretty easily. Also, if you guys are enjoying the content, definitely smash the like button on today's video and leave a comment in the comment section below. Do you believe that banks are traps? What do you believe you should do with your dollars, with your money? Let me know. I appreciate you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one. Y'all willing. Peace.